The airport was alive with its usual chaos, boarding calls echoing across the terminals, families rushing with heavy bags, and the impatient shuffle of passengers waiting in line. But amid that noise, one decision was about to change everything. Senator John Kennedy, known for his wit and unshakable presence in Washington, was quietly waiting to board a flight. Unlike the world of politics, the airport was an equalizer. Everyone just wanted to get home, get somewhere important, or simply rest. Kennedy had a first-class ticket in hand, the kind of comfort he had earned many times over through long years of service. Yet that day, the seat would not remain his. Standing a few rows behind him in the boarding line was Karoline Leavitt, a young and rising figure in politics. She was clearly stressed, her phone pressed to her ear, her brow furrowed, and her other hand clutching a stack of folders. Her voice cracked slightly as she reassured someone on the other end, "Yes, I'll make it in time for the speech. I just hope the flight isn't delayed." Kennedy noticed. He wasn't the type to ignore someone in need, even in a simple everyday situation. As passengers began to shuffle toward the jet bridge, he quietly stepped aside, letting Karoline pass. But instead of following her into the economy cabin, he stopped her. "Ma'am," he said in his familiar Louisiana drawl, "I believe you might need this more than I do." With that, he handed her his first-class boarding pass. Karoline's eyes widened in disbelief. "Senator Kennedy, I can't possibly accept this. You've worked all day, you deserve the seat." But Kennedy just chuckled. "I've had my share of legroom and hot towels. You look like you've got a storm to face ahead. Take it, it'll do you more good than me." Reluctantly, Karoline accepted, overwhelmed by his unexpected generosity. As she settled into first class, Kennedy made his way to the cramped seat in economy, sandwiched between two tired travelers. The flight took off, but fate had more in store. Halfway through the journey, the plane encountered severe turbulence. Oxygen masks dropped, and passengers gripped their armrests in fear. In the chaos, an elderly woman seated near Kennedy began to panic. Her breathing grew rapid, and she clutched at her chest. Without hesitation, Kennedy sprang into action. Calm but firm, he reassured the passengers around him and signaled for help. His steady words, "Breathe slow, darlin', we'll get you through this," helped the woman relax enough until flight attendants and a medical professional on board could assist her. His calmness kept half the cabin from spiraling into panic. Meanwhile, Karoline, watching from first class, was struck with a powerful realization. Here was a man who had every right to enjoy the privileges of his station, yet he had chosen humility and service over comfort, not once, but twice in the span of a few hours. When the plane finally landed safely, relief swept through the passengers. Some clapped, others prayed quietly, but many turned to Kennedy with gratitude. The elderly woman held his hand tightly and whispered, "You saved me. Thank you." Karoline, still moved by what she witnessed, approached Kennedy in the terminal. "Senator," she said softly, "today you didn't just give up a seat, you gave all of us a lesson in leadership." Kennedy smiled, almost brushing off the praise. "Well, leadership ain't about perks. It's about showing up when it counts, even when nobody's watching." Word of the story spread quickly, shared by passengers who had been on that flight. By the next morning, social media was buzzing with photos and first-hand accounts. Senator Kennedy gave up his seat and then calmed everyone during turbulence. A true leader. But the real takeaway wasn't the headlines. For Karoline Leavitt, it was a defining moment. Watching Kennedy's actions that night, she realized that true influence doesn't come from power or position, but from humility, service, and courage in the face of fear. And for everyone else who heard the story, it became a simple but powerful reminder. Sometimes the smallest sacrifice, a seat on a plane, a kind word, a steady hand, can ripple outward to change lives in ways we'd never expect.